warm-ups page, whatever you're working on, flip over to that unless you finished all the warm-ups because you were bored. Certain people do that. It's great. Okay. Now this one, number 22, these are both in standard form, so we have to get them to y equals before we can graph them. So I wrote both of these equations down here separately so that I could get y by itself for both of them. So on this first one, I'm going to start with undoing the x. That's what you do first every time. Undo whatever the x is. And that gives me negative 4y equals negative x plus 12. And then I divide both sides by negative 4. And I have y equals. Okay, so now we need to talk about this. This is weird looking right here. So what we do is we cancel out the negatives, and then we put a 1 in front of the x, and we make this positive 1/4 x. And then 12 over negative 4 is negative 3. Somebody's phone is chiming. If you think your phone might be chiming, could you please come back here and turn the chiming off? Anyone? Anyone? I have to go into detective mode. Okay, so now we're going to graph this one. So go down 3. And then the slope is 1/4. So up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1 over 4. And then I like to backtrack it. Voila. Okay, I'm halfway there. Undo the x. Divide. Okay, my people, what does this simplify to right here? Yeah, perfect. Positive 5 over positive 4x. And what does this simplify to right here? Positive 1. Okay, so up 1. And then up 5 over 4, but that goes off the page. So I'm going to go down 5, back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look. Right there on that point, I already have graphed. Amazing. It's like they knew I was coming. Because they did. Okay, final answer is the coordinate -4, -4. Any questions about that one? It's so satisfying. Makes me so happy when they cross a like perfect point like that. Ah, there he is. Yay. Okay, now moving on to number 24. This one is elimination, but it's the spiciest one I could find. I literally tried to find the spiciest one possible. Mrs. Talbot, you're such a jerk. I know, but I wanted you to be like prepared for anything. Okay, so which do you think would be easier to cancel out? Would it be the X's or the Y's? Just take a look at the size of the numbers. X's, yeah. Okay, so both 9 and 7 go into 63. So I'm going to multiply the top by 7. What should I multiply the bottom by? Be very careful. Yes, but -9. Excellent. Because I want one of them to be negative and one to be positive. Okay, so I'm going to need a calculator for this, clearly. Negative 63x 7 times 36 plus 252y equals, I feel like I should know 25 times 7 is that 225? No, 175? Yeah. Okay, now this becomes positive 63x. Oh man. Let me zoom in for number being purposes in the back of the room. Okay, now this one comes out to be weird. That's fine. These cancel, and I have 0 equals 49. Now, I don't know about you, but I've done some extensive math research, and every problem that I look at, 0 doesn't ever equal 49. Those two things are typically not equal. So this is no solution. And what does that mean for the two lines? The lines are, I heard it? Parallel, yes. All right, last warm up of the day, number 25. The senior classes at high school A and high school B planned separate trips to the local amusement park. The senior class at high school A rented and filled 5 vans and 2 buses. Okay, I can kind of already tell that I need to pick letters. So I'm going to say V equals vans, B equals buses. I sort of feel like buses should have 2 S's, but it doesn't. Looks like booses. I don't know. English language, awesome. Okay, anyway, so let's go high school A, 5 vans. I'm right here. And 2 buses has 120 students. High school B, 2 vans and 4 buses with 176 students. Okay, what's easier to eliminate, the V's or the B's? B's. And what do I do with that? What's the plan here? You can. I'm just going to multiply the top by -2 because that's going to make it -4b because I'm lazy. Now, you can totally do your way. It'll work, but I'm too lazy. -10v minus 4b equals -240. So I guess maybe this is a reminder. You don't have to multiply both of them. You can just multiply one if it works. Okay, b's eliminate. -8v equals something. Okay, I'm going to plug it into this bottom one here. Okay, when you're ready, grab your notebook, please. And start with this. Okay, so we have two objectives today. First objective is to be able to calculate the length of a segment using Pythagorean theorem and the midpoint of a segment using either eyeballing the picture or the formula. There is a midpoint formula. And second is to figure out what shape you have doing those things. So we're going to use our shapes page and decide what shape we've got on the next problem. After we finish these three, I have a Kahoot for you. The first part of it is midpoint, and the second part of it is figuring out the triangle congruences again, because I love you all, but we still need to work on that. So it's okay. They're not flowcharts. You just look at the picture and pick the congruent. And then the rest of the period, you guys will have time for homework, which is great. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do in this problem, I know this is shocking. I'm going to graph the points. Woo! What a surprise. Okay. 3, 1 is right here. I'm going to label that C. Hopefully I did that right. Okay, when we find the length of a segment, we do Pythagorean theorem every time. So we make this into, we force it to be a right triangle, whether it wants to be or not. It might fancy itself a equilateral triangle or a scalene, but it is scalene, I guess. Might want to be obtuse. Maybe it's feeling obtuse today, but no, I don't know yet. Okay, and then I count the boxes. So step 1, draw in your right triangle. Step 2, count the boxes. Okay, what's step 3? Pythagorean theorem, 12 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. 144 plus 36. Okay, let's go through the whole procedure for simplifying square roots. Is 180 divisible by 4? Yes. Is 180 divisible by 9? Yes. Is 180 divisible by 16? No. Is 180 divisible by 25? No. Is 180 divisible by 36? Yes. Look, see, I kept hunting like a detective and I found a better one, 36 and 5. Okay, final answer for the exact. 36, square root of 36 is 6. 6 square root 5. For my approximate, I have about 13.4. Okay, pause here. Very important. Does anyone have any questions about how I got any of this stuff? Any of those things? Are you guys all set? You guys good? You sure? Okay, now we're going to find the midpoint. I'm going to find the midpoint the lazy way, which means that I already have this labeled. So I'm going to start at C and I'm going to go over halfway, which is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to go up halfway, which is 3. And there's my midpoint. So let me say what I did again. I started at C. I went over halfway and up halfway. Over halfway is 6. Up halfway is 3. Okay, now what is this coordinate exactly? So go back to the origin now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4. So this coordinate is 9, 4. Okay, but let's say, I don't know, this is a crazy talk. Absolutely nuts. Crazy, would never happen. Let's just say there was a student that didn't like graphing. Oh, it's so crazy. I know, I know. No, no, that doesn't happen. You can actually find the midpoint without graphing using a formula. So we're going to do that next. And when you add two numbers and divide by 2, that's called averaging. So I average the x's and average the y's. Okay, now looking back at these two coordinates, what numbers are the x's? 3 and 15, right? And what numbers are the y's? 1 and 7. Okay, so if I know this is nuts, you had a student say that didn't like graphing, you could go 3 plus 15 over 2, 1 plus 7 over 2. And this would be, yep, yep. And notice I got the same answer. I just didn't graph it. So you kind of have a choice here. You can graph the points and count the boxes and get the midpoint, or you can do the midpoint formula. I do not care. But if the picture's already there, okay, if the picture's not there, midpoint formula is easier. If the picture's already there, just putting a dot in the middle, easier. But it depends. If you're not given the picture, I would do the formula. Okay, any questions about number 96? Are you sure? Okay, move down to number 97. And this one, be really careful. You want to make this exactly the same shape and size as mine. So use these actual coordinates. Okay. All right, everybody. So what shape is this? Justify your answer. We're going to try to figure out, okay, first of all, Mrs. Talbot, it's a triangle. Yeah, I know it's a triangle. We're going to be more specific. Okay, hold on. That's what we need to find out. Okay, so what I want you to do is start here and make a little baby dashed right triangle off of this side. I'm doing it in a different color so you can kind of see it's different part, but if you dash it, you should be okay. This is 2, and this is 6. Okay, what's 40 divisible by? And that's on the list. 4. 4. Okay. My red pen is really mad at me. Yeah. Okay, now here's the excellent news. Yeah, okay. So, does anybody see the excellent news? Same two numbers, which means I don't have to do Pythagorean theorem again. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm going to take my answer 2 root 10 and put it over here. Okay, now this side over here, is this going to be the same as those two? No, it's significantly longer. Okay, what kind of a shape, what kind of a triangle has two equal sides? Isosceles. Okay, so we know this is isosceles. Are you guys okay over there? Okay, now, what is the slope of this side here? So over here, I'm going to say slope is rise over run, but it's going downhill. So the slope is -3 for this part. What's the slope for this part here? Slope equals rise over run, going uphill. One-third. What's the special relationship between -3 and 1/3? What's it called? You got this. Opposite reciprocals, which means that they're perpendicular. So this is a right angle. So this is an isosceles right triangle. I believe you had something like this in your homework last night. I think that's a good looking picture right there. I'm just saying. Satisfying. Okay, we have one more, and I did, instead of doing two separate problems, I put the notes into number 98. There are two problems. One of them is finding length, one of them is finding midpoint, but it's one problem with an A and a B. Okay, so we're start here. And Learning Express. Learning Express. It's a store in Dublin that's like 3/4 Squishmallows. I think I might be going there this weekend. I'm so excited. Okay, but here's the best part about the whole thing, and you'll understand this. The whole reason we're going is because my husband is going to purchase a car part that he wants, which means that there's money for Lily to buy Squishmallows. Do I need Squishmallows? Yeah. Also, don't forget to look at the calendar. Oh, I bumped it with my excitement. Okay, guys, let's do this first part. So -2, -1 is A. Be very careful with your graphing. -2, -1. B is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to find the midpoint two ways. We're going to find it graphically and with the formula because I want you to be handy with both. Okay, so the first step graphically is to graph the segment. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, then make your baby right triangle. Count the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cinco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cinco. Uh, Dylan, how do you say 2.5? Oh, but you say it so pretty, I can't do it. Okay. Dos. Okay, wait. Uno, dos, y medio. Uno, dos, y medio. Okay, so that coordinate though, okay, so if you return your brain to the origin, what is that coordinate right there? 1/2, 1.5. You have to return your counting to the origin when you find the final answer coordinate. Okay, now we're going to do it with the formula. They're the same labels that you use when you do the slope formula. And hopefully you guys all know that 3/2 is the same thing as 1.5. You could put 1.5 there also, I don't care. Okay, last thing for the day other than the Kahoot. Same exact question, we're just going to find the link. I think this is way easier than flowcharts. The good news is I think I already counted this above. Okay, what is 50 divisible by in the list? 25. Great job. Okay, so square root of 25 times the square root of 2, 5 square root 2. And then it's got to be 7.1. Yeah. Oh, look at me. Thanks. All right, get ready for Kahoot, please, and thank you when you're done writing. You're going to want, okay, let's talk about what you're going to want. You're going to want your midpoint notes that we just did next to you and your pink paper.